welcome to another episode of the Miles Offside podcast, where we talk a little bit of football and a whole lot of nonsense. My name is Oscar Puente, also known as Footy from Afar, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts, FPL champion Chuck Bailey and super producer Ian Stimson. Gentlemen, I love you both, and I hope you had a lovely Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it was lovely. I had a lovely time, and thanks for that, mate. I love you guys too. I love all of you listening, even you. You know who you are. You as well.
Especially you. You know who you are.
Especially for you. Sorry.
Yeah, we have about 5 people right now sitting at home going like, is it me? I think it's me. It might be me.
I did send him 30 pairs of socks.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, man. Let's start it off with the same thing we always do. Ian, how's it going on Posh Island?
Game postponed. Carry on.
COVID-related or snow-related?
No frozen pitch in Blackpool. So
classic.
No play happening.
All right. That's League One Island. We'll see you next week.
No undersoil heating for us.
Oh, for fucking hell. This is how we're starting. This is how we're starting.
So a good Valentine's Day, boys?
Oh, I'm hanging out my arse, for fuck's sake. I'm sorry. I can't do it.
Chuck is quite hungover, it would appear, after celebrating yesterday.
Aggressively hungover.
So child number 2 on the way, no doubt.
Oh.
You didn't like that, Chuck. Let's go ahead and move on to the first segment. If you are joining us for the first time, thank you. Welcome. We're happy to have you. We love you too, even though we've never met you. Happy Valentine's Day. The world is a lovely place full of lovely humans, and you are one of them. If you are returning, all the better. We love you even more. Thank you for coming back. We appreciate it. Tell a friend, leave a review, like, subscribe, all those things. But we're going to kick things off, as we always do, with our famous segment, Rapid Fire News. Our top story this evening, gentlemen. Neymar will miss the first leg of PSG's last 16 Champions League tie against his former club Barcelona with a thigh injury. PSG say they expect Neymar to recover in around 4 weeks, which could see him return for the second leg on March 10th. Notably, the first week of his injury is Carnival. The second week of his injury will be spent quarantining, and the third and fourth week of his injury will be spent celebrating his sister's birthday.
Smashing mummy. I can't believe we didn't realise this was coming up again. This is like, what, the 5th year in a row? 6th year in a row?
7, actually.
Brilliant.
7 years in a row that he doesn't play on his sister's birthday.
Pay and move his sister to Paris or fucking something. The Qatari royal family's got enough money, like, this is a piss take. He must have it written into his contract. I thought he'd just be like, how can someone not go, look, we know what you're doing. We know what you're doing every year. You get an injury.
I know. How convenient that it's exactly 4 weeks. That's exactly the window of time to go to Carnival, quarantine for 2 weeks, and then party with his sister. Like,
yeah.
Cool coincidence.
Going down 4 weeks ahead of it is excessive, isn't it? Clearly excessive.
Well, he's going down now 4 weeks in advance, but hopefully he won't be going down again in 4 weeks. So,
please.
Nailed it.
All right.
Literally.
Moving on. Let's close that tab and move on.
He's 29.
29. Wow, that's a young spring chicken compared to the 3 of us old fucks.
We need to set a calendar alert for next year so as we can keep on Neymar watch, I think.
No, it's just February, just early Feb. Early Feb, we'll remember.
Yeah, just whenever this is the second lockdown year starting, so next year when lockdown 3 starts, we'll remember that it's...
Okay, yeah. God.
Yeah, March 13, I think his sister's birthday is like March 9 or something, so it's right around lockdown.
Yeah. You know. Okay, good. So depressing.
Woo! Lockdown 2, let's go. Let's go ahead and move on then to our next story. Gentlemen, our second top story this week. Burnley were saved from a costly FA Cup mistake when they named a suspended player in their lineup, as opponents Bournemouth pointed out the error. Left-back Eric Pieters was picked for the match at Turf Moor, but the visitors noticed he was ineligible after being booked against MK Dons and Fulham in the previous 2 rounds. It was just a simple admin error. Anthony Glennon was drafted in instead.
Admin. It gets everyone. We lost to that team. 3-0. Don't even know who their own players are. Don't even know the rules.
Yeah, that comes to something when the opposition have to point out that he's not supposed to be playing. I watched your game against MK Dons. Did you watch it? Fucking hell. What's the punishment for that sort of thing? It's usually quite severe, isn't it? I mean, could they have got themselves a bye if they'd have just let him play?
In the past, clubs fielding an ineligible player have been disqualified from the FA Cup or made to replay entire matches, apparently.
Oh, I mean, that's the last thing you need is another replay, isn't it? So, yeah, maybe if Bournemouth would have let it go, they'd have got Burnley disqualified.
Maybe Bournemouth just didn't want to progress. That was why. They're like, look, we don't want an automatic bye.
Well, it certainly looks like Burnley didn't want to progress. They did play the game and lost 2-0 to fucking Championship opposition. So doesn't look like they wanted to progress.
Honestly, I wish Chelsea would field an ineligible player so we could be out of the FA Cup. We don't need the extra fucking fixtures. Keep beating. We keep getting like
You're not
lower
winning
table.
anything else, mate. You're not winning anything else. Get trophies.
I mean, the Champions League starts next week. Thank you very much. It is wide open this year. Everyone in Europe is trash. Bayern suck. Barca suck. Madrid suck. The only good team in Europe is City. So we have a shot.
Well, yeah.
Insofar as like,
They've
it's open.
traditionally sucked in Europe as well. So wide open. You're right. Wide open.
Yeah, no.
Not happening.
Written in the stars, gentlemen. You heard it here first. All right, and then let's wrap up the news segment with our weekly installment of Rapid Fire Racism. This week, we're checking in on Anthony Martial, as the Manchester United forward was racially abused on Instagram after his side's 1-1 draw at West Brom on Sunday. It is the second time in 3 weeks that Martial has been targeted, while teammates Marcus Rashford and Alex Twanzebe have also faced racism online. Facebook, which owns Instagram, said last week it would not ban a user who racially abused a Swansea player. Here we go again, says Troy Townsend. It's so predictable now. I wonder if this account will be banned for a month and collect their slap on the wrist, or the don't do that again talk. That is also followed up by Facebook putting out a statement about specifically footballers. Facebook says it is horrified at the continued abuse of footballers and has announced what it says are tougher measures to tackle the issue. The social media platform is changing the rules governing direct messaging on Instagram, a platform it also owns. It will disable the accounts of those found to have repeatedly sent abusive private messages on Instagram. UK head of content policy said it was saddening to see continued abuse on the platforms. So, just repeatedly sending abusive messages. That's all it takes to get banned, gentlemen. Not the one time.
Okay.
Just many times.
No, it doesn't fucking happen anyway. It's ridiculous, and it's literally there's people that lose their accounts for longer. I think it happened to us. Our Twitter page got locked out just because of retweeting one video that was
copyright
Sky Sports.
infringement. Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll jump on you for copyright
on
infringement
that.
when someone's going to make money, and funnily enough that, and some people have lost their accounts for literally a year, all just because of retweeting one video. But just keep sending racist abuse, things like monkey emojis, which I've seen one social media outlet, can't remember who, say, well, we don't associate that with racism. Well, you're fucking idiots. And they have the tech. They have the tech that literally through algorithms that you can just see if someone's typing the words in that way, get rid, goodbye, see you later. But they won't do it. Apparently, because it would have targeted some politicians and stuff as well, and we couldn't possibly have that.
Wait. Are you trying to tell me that there are racist politicians? Is that what I'm hearing right now? Because that's
How long have you been locked down, Oscar?
11 months and 2 days, something like that.
Okay. Don't go outside ever.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that is literally what I'm doing. It's going well so far.
But it's disgusting. And there are more teams now as well that are getting sick of the fact that these places aren't taking action, and some clubs are coming out and saying that they're going to start tackling racism in other ways. So obviously, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next coming weeks a lot less teams are taking the knee before matches and those kind of things, because I've seen stuff like Will Zaha come out and say, like, what's the point? It feels embarrassing almost to him. He said on a podcast, I can't remember which podcast it was now, to be doing it and literally nothing's happening. So he's like, well, what's the point? It's not action. So we need to be doing things in other ways. So, yeah, if you're not going to get backed up, it all just feels a bit pathetic, really. But they are putting more pressure on the social media pages, it seems. You'd like to think people will get protected in this kind of thing, that it's like, it's the 21st fucking century and this is still happening, and it's week on week on week on week.
Yeah, I mean, this really is becoming a weekly segment at this point, and it's not like I'm searching for these stories. They're on like the front page of the BBC every week. There's one at least. So like, it's around. The hope is that these companies, fucking capitalism is garbage, right? So like these companies aren't going to do anything out of the goodness of their own heart. It relies on like us regular people to be like, we're demanding this. This is what we want.
It's like the the high profile thing in obviously the NFL last year was to do with the Washington Redskins.
Yes.
And so they wanted to get rid of that. I think people have been campaigning for a very long time about it.
Yeah, they did actually succeed. It's the Washington football team now.
Well, they did, but only because companies, I think it was like AT&T and Coca-Cola and other ones were just like, yeah, we're just not going to give you any money anymore unless you do it. And so they then, funnily enough, instantly they went, okay, we'll just be the Washington football team now.
Yeah, which they couldn't even come up with a name, which is like ridiculous. It almost feels passive aggressive, if I'm being honest. But look, we don't have to like have this conversation every week. I'm gonna keep bringing it up as long as there are stories, just to put a spotlight on it. Whatever small spotlight we might have, more of a flashlight, I guess, for us than a spotlight. But we talk about it. People, it's in the zeitgeist. People sort of start to get louder about it. And if we keep having this conversation, eventually, then hopefully something will happen. Because like we said, the corporations are going to do this out of the goodness of their own heart. They'll do this because the public demands it, because capitalism. So, we'll just keep bringing it up. And hopefully someday we won't have to bring it up. But that does allow us to move on to the actual football fixtures this week, gentlemen. You ready to jump into some fixtures?
Jump into fixtures.
So, sounds like it should have a step into Christmas type.
Give me. I'm too hungover for jingles. I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm letting you all down. Okay. Jump into fixtures.
Who's getting burned? Lead forever and ever. We'll work on it. We'll workshop it for next week. But we kick things off with my favorite fixture of the weekend, and that is Saturday, February 13, 2021. Leicester 3, Liverpool 1. Leicester 2.1 to Liverpool's 1.7 on XG. So not quite enough to be a Burnley of the week there. Leicester did slightly edge the XG battle there, but 3-1 is pretty strong of a statement with the scoreline there by Leicester and Liverpool. Oof. Liverpool, that's like what, 4 or 5 losses now in like the last 7 games or something? Something terrible.
It was something like, if you look at the form table for the last 10 fixtures, they're 15th in the table. And so, yeah, that's a sharp drop-off. They are 30 points worse off than this time last year.
Ooh, 30 points. 30 points. That's much worse. 30 points.
That's an entire Fulham.
Look, let me put it this
season,
way.
Obviously, but
if Chelsea win in a couple of hours, we'll be ahead of Liverpool in the table. And we had Frank Lampard fired this season. Not going well for us particularly, and we are potentially, within a few hours, going to be ahead of them. So, suck on that, Liverpool.
Egg on your face if Newcastle win now. Jesus.
I mean, even so, the fact that we're only a point behind with a game in hand is no good for Liverpool. Right? Like, so at what point are we not worrying, but at what point is like Klopp looking over his shoulder?
I don't know. It's been brought to him in press conferences, and he was just a bit kind of dismissive of it, especially based on his personal situations as well, which have been over the last few months. And that he says, he came out and said that he's very good at compartmentalizing it, and it doesn't affect. And you do have to look at the team, and it's just a bit of a mess, and it doesn't help when injuries affect every team, so that's not a crutch to use really. But it just seems weird to shift the best players from midfield back to defence rather than and therefore negatively affect 2 sections of the pitch, as opposed to just having weaker people in defence.
Yeah. And
still having the same, you know what I mean?
I agree.
It's worked for them in the past. They used to have fucking Lovren and Matip as their starting like top 2 defenders. Like, they've done it in the past, and it just becomes a revert to old Liverpool and outscore teams. And it doesn't help then also when Alisson just, God knows what was happening in the last couple of games for him, because he's just been making howlers.
Yeah, I think he's been hanging out with Kepa, probably, if I had to guess. He's got a bit of the Kepa's gone.
He does seem to have lost his head completely, though. I mean, if you're going to come out for that one where he got into a bit of confusion with the new boy, then you make sure you get rid of it.
But it's not even that. He didn't even call for the ball.
Well, exactly.
So Kabak did nothing wrong. He's tracking it because he doesn't hear the call for the goalkeeper. So he's right there. So he's got the ball. And then Alisson just steams out and clears his own player out.
I thought that was a bizarre decision. It was so far out, and it's not like it was in no man's land, being as the Liverpool defender was right there. It just very odd decision. And if you're going to do it, you make fucking sure you get it.
Horrible. Genuinely atrocious keeping. Which sucks because it was a waste of Firmino's amazing assist in this match.
Yeah.
That deserved a win, honestly. Like, that was such a good assist.
That's not how football works, though, is it, though, mate? You can't just do, like, one thing. Oh, sorry, guys.
Be. That's worth 2 goals.
Stop the match. Look, don't try and infringe on my new rules, all right?
Well, no, just add it to them.
Okay. Bring it up at the next meeting, and we need to
I
have
will
a
do.
vote.
Okay, fair. Yeah, no, it has to be properly ratified. I understand that. But...
It has to be. You have to read the standing orders.
I
understand them.
Read the standing order. I watched that video, by the way, about 1 million times after last week's pod.
It's so good, isn't it?
Poor Emily is like, can you stop screaming, read the standing orders at me?
Well, just understand them then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just get her to read them and more importantly, understand them.
Yeah, Brendy Rodgers finally getting a win against Liverpool. He hasn't had a good record against them. Leicester, having Vardy back, being Vardy, really, hit the post, hit the bar a few times, pulls out a corner flag, plays guitar with it.
Why not?
Classic.
Why not?
Classic Vardy move.
Classic Vardy manoeuvre. Madison, Barnes, dang. Yeah, no, very good.
Are we just naming Leicester players? Schmeichel.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Schmeichel had a good game.
Though. Yeah.
Really good game. And, 24 games gone and they're third again for another season that's, happened. And they just keep kicking on and they're making the most of it, really.
Yeah, it sure is a season happening.
This season is
That
happening.
is what it feels like, honestly. It's just like, Leicester are third? What? Okay, I guess. Go with it.
But, you say, Leicester are third, but then you look at all the teams below and you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like, it's
Yeah, definitely. It's certainly not, what are Leicester doing up there? Like you say, you look at the 4 or 5 below them and you're like, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a year of madness.
Yeah, and to go back to Liverpool for a second, I was pulling up the stats while we were talking, and this is a poor run of form that is also a poor run of play. Like, it isn't like they're getting Burnley'd out here. These last 3 matches, 3-1 loss to Leicester, lost on XG. 4-1 loss to City, lost on XG. 1-0 loss to Brighton, lost on XG. A couple of matches.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
West Ham and Tottenham were wins, and I think they were wins on XG, but then you go back to Burnley, and so that's still in the last 6 matches, and they lost to Burnley and lost on XG. Like, these are legitimate losses. These aren't, fluky things that are happening. And, you're right, Chuck. I think with, that level of attack, just fucking lean into it. Klopp is decidedly failing the COVID test. And I don't mean that he has a positive result.
Yeah.
That came out wrong. But, you look at Pep, and we'll get to Pep in a second, and, Pep has basically COVID-proofed Man City. And meanwhile, Klopp is just scrambling, and not doing a good job.
I don't understand. I mean, they pointed out on Match of the Day how high Liverpool's line was, and the most basic of football perverts knows that Leicester play by putting balls in behind the defence so as Vardy can get onto them. That's been what they've done for the last 5 years, and yet. I thought there was a level of arrogance there that was pretty poor from Liverpool to play that line.
And perhaps unwarranted these days.
Yeah, totally unwarranted. I mean, things have changed pretty quickly, haven't they? But yeah, definitely unwarranted. I just don't understand how you can see that happening. Maybe it was the arrogance of being in front in the game for so long. I don't know. They were getting away with it. But it soon unravelled, didn't it? It only takes Alisson to do that, and then it just all collapses. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty poor. Not sort of reading your opponents there from Klopp. I thought that was pretty poor.
But so do you guys think that Klopp will be fired? Or do you think he has, infinite grace period because he brought them their first title?
The problem Liverpool have got is that they don't like to spend money at the minute, and firing a manager is as expensive as buying a player. Are they going to get anyone that's actually better than Klopp? This is his first real dip in form as Liverpool manager. So I think we're a long way away from that. But it needs to improve quickly. Otherwise, they're going to get to the point where they are going to be struggling to qualify for the Champions League. And that's a very different conversation then, isn't it? Fenway Sports Group have been very, the bottom line is the finances. And that means qualifying for the Champions League is a given. So if that looks like it's not going to happen, you might see them act quickly. But I think that if Liverpool sort of drop to, and obviously we're starting to get into the later stages of the season now, if Liverpool drop to your 6th, 7th, that sort of thing, you might see action then. But because if they don't, then it's going to be sort of too late to fix it, isn't it? But that's the only reason. I think for them, it's finances are the bottom line. So they won't fire him yet. I don't think they'll give him a chance to fix it because it's expensive to fire a manager. But if it gets much worse in sort of 5-6 games time, there's no improvement. You might see a different Fenway Sports Group.
Well, we have like a month until the next international break, so maybe see if he's turned it around by then.
Yeah, maybe that's the point they take stock. But I think it takes a lot to get rid of Klopp. I think they'd probably have to lose every match in between now and then as well.
Yeah,
I would agree with you, except for I saw Claudio Ranieri get fired the season after Leicester had won the Premier League. So like if that happened, and they weren't like, I don't know, that shit happened. So like I don't rule anything out as far as people getting fired and ridiculousness. But let's move on to, speaking of people getting fired, Crystal Palace 0, Burnley 3, Palace 0.7 to Burnley's 2.0. So a well and true deserved win.
Can Chuck watch Palace again?
Roy Hodgson. Is there hope in the world again?
No, there is not. You are in the wrong universe if you're hoping for hope.
2 goals down to Burnley after 10 minutes.
What we do?
Did you watch, Chuck? Genuinely?
Nope, haven't watched any of the last 3 games since I said I wasn't watching Palace anymore.
He's true to his word.
What's the point? It just depresses me. So it's like sometimes in these things, and you can say, oh, you're not a proper fan. No, I'm just not a fucking idiot. And I don't want to punish myself by watching it. I don't see any reciprocal passion or excitement from the team that actually want to play. And the fact that in our last 3 games we've conceded in the 2nd, 3rd and 4th minute. So, yeah, I'm good. It's fine. Results are a thing. I'm pretty numb to it. And if Hodgson doesn't go, it's not going to change. Credit to Burnley for doing what they needed to do. And you see a team that's playing absolute shit and isn't going to attack. All right, we're going to attack you.
Yeah, get straight on it. Yeah.
Burnley have earned 26 points this season. 6 of them have come off Palace. And they've scored 17 goals, and 4 of those are against Palace. So you're looking at about 25% of all of their good things this year have come against us. Kept 2 clean sheets. If you're the team that clearly are being targeted by the other teams that are in that bottom 2/3, the fixture, then it's something wrong. And at the minute, it's becoming one of those cases where, like in FPL, if you have an attacking player, you could captain them against Palace because we're showing nothing going forward. And this whole misnomer of, we've got defensive stability under Hodgson is complete bollocks. So... yeah, it is at that point that you should just target Palace. Fair enough,
because the other, this is going to sound offensive, Chuck, so try not to be overly offended when I say it, but
to me,
the other, relegation-worthy or relegation candidate type teams are actually pulling out results more recently, and, seem to be kind of turning it around. We'll get to the Sunday matches, but there were some interesting results there for sure. So that is, genuinely potentially good FPL advice, not just hyperbole of an angry and disappointed fan.
No, it's not. But it's just simple facts. It's like if West Brom and Sheffield United weren't being so terrible this year, God knows where we'd be. We're 19th for goals conceded.
Oof. Oh.
42 goals in 24 games. It's the same as Leeds, and it's only West Brom that's worse than us.
So then, in terms of hope, right? We joke, and you're like, "Oh, I have no hope. They don't have any reciprocal passion or anything like that." How close are we getting to fucking Hodgson getting fired? That has to be somewhere down the line at some point, right?
I just think it's bad, especially the planets are kind of aligning and everything's going at the same time for Eddie Howe to join now because he's been out of work. His former assistant at Bournemouth, I think it's Jason Tyndall, was the Bournemouth manager, and he left or got fired, which is really weird because they were 1st or 2nd a couple of weeks ago. So there's potentially, if he would then just come and settle in. Because there's an argument now that it's if things aren't looking good for Palace, we've lost Zaha and we've lost God knows however many games. I know all the stats. It's whatever. We're shit without him, basically. What do you have to lose? Because you're not that far off. There's enough games where, if Palace get 2 more wins in the next 14, they'll stay up. Because then that's 35 points, right? So give it to a new manager. If we've got the moving parts there, and at the minute it's the perfect melting pot of an old manager who doesn't want to change his tactics, who has contracts running out in the summer, a load of other players who have contracts running out in the summer that are just being let to go. Like, and I've said it before over the years that always with Palace, it was like, well, basically you're just going to get picked. Like, Tyreek Mitchell was playing fantastic, doing so well again. We were having defensive stability. Then he just brings Van Aanholt back again. Like, when you don't have defensive stability, bringing on a more attacking left back doesn't work. It's the exact same. It's the exact same as having like Marcus Alonso in a back four. Like, it doesn't work unless you've got the centre backs that are good enough to deal with it, and we simply don't, because our centre backs and our defensive mids were really, really slow, and so they can't cover. So that's why you need a more defensive left back, especially if the right back's going to go up and attack, and it just gives you that flexibility to be playing with 4 at the back, but you can almost have a 3 at the back in when you're attacking as well.
Yeah.
And so just these basic things that you are like, you just watch it and you're like, well, this player's clearly massively out of sorts. He doesn't know where he's going to be playing this year. He's, Van Aanholt's a great guy and a great servant to the club. And so, when people do give abuse online and it's personal, it's very clear what the feelings are, my feelings are on that, and you shouldn't. On the flip side, you should be allowed to criticise someone for their performances and when it relates to that, and he's just simply not been good enough. And it's things like that, and keep getting picked over week. And I don't know what the policy is of the club with regards to potential shielding and bubbles and COVID and stuff, because we're consistently only putting 6 subs on the bench each week rather than 9. And like, we've got at the minute our under 18s are top of the under 18 Premier League. Our under 23s are on a ridiculous good run of form, taking us up and up the leagues. I can't remember exactly what it is. And you're like, well, just use some of those players. Give them something. Give some energy into the team. They've dropped in Jean-Philippe Mateta, who's the striker, and you're like, I'm coming into this thinking, well, what the fuck am I meant to do in this system? What do I do? Where is it meant to be coming from? Especially when Zaha's out, and it's at the point now where, like, you'd almost rather not have a manager if it meant Zaha was back, because clearly he's more important to the team than Hodgson and not having tactics. And it's probably a very similar situation based on conversations I've had with Jeff about Tottenham, and that obviously then leads us nicely onto that. And because it seems to be the same kind of toxic situation, that when you have this repetitiveness, a lack of urgency, a lack of drive and desire. We joke about the passion, and there's the Roy Keane element, which is like, oh, they just didn't want it more, and you're like, that's fucking dumb. But like, if you're literally going to put in 0 effort, and your team looks like it doesn't have any defensive stability and it doesn't have any shape, like, this is what you get. And so it's like, why should I care? Why should I invest my time? Why should I invest my money into this? Love it. It's the same as if, like, a TV show I didn't like, if I loved it and then it just got really shit, I go, you know what, I'm just not going to bother. It doesn't really seem worth it, and I'll spend my time because it's better for my mental health, because then it affects other parts of my life in better ways. Looking at the scores now, I'm not depressed on a weekend. So it's just I get messages from my dad saying we were shit. We should have fired. Hodgson's got to go, and I message him back saying yes, about 3-6 months ago. It's just that's the case. I do see it. I still see the world where he gets the extension, but I just think, what does that show for what is meant to be a really promising future with the academy status, with all that, if those players are not getting chances? And so literally I'm even at the point where Millennial Pardew seems like a good idea to me.
Yeah,
it's just something different.
I know you don't like Eddie Howe, but he would feel like a massive upgrade at the minute, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it's hard. It's genuinely hard to feel like a downgrade. Even just getting actual Pardew back would probably be better.
Wow.
I don't know about that one, but I mean, I think you guys are really lucky that Fulham, West Brom, and Sheffield are such trash and probably going down, because you're in 14th, but you're only 4 points clear of 17th.
But that's what's weird as well, is like, you look at it, we're equidistant between Fulham and Liverpool.
What
a weird season.
Yeah. But so between 18th and 4th, we're the exact same number of points away. And so it's like, oh, we should be looking over our shoulder at Fulham. And then it's like, oh, look, we've got the potential to catch Liverpool. Man. Why, like, I keep going back to what I was saying at the very start of the year, is that this season, you just need to be consistent. And any team that's consistent like, say, for example, by winning 15 matches in a row in all competitions.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on then. Clearly, you don't want to talk about Palace anymore. And so we're going to COVID-proof FC. I mean, Manchester City 3, Tottenham 0, Manchester City's 2.5 to Tottenham's 0.4. So yet another dicking that lines up with the XG. Man City, as you mentioned, 15 wins in a row in all competitions. Another clean sheet. Another easy victory for Pep City. And another very disappointing loss, if perhaps totally expected, for Jose Mourinho's team. I'll throw it to Ian first. Ian, you've been a little quiet today. I want to give you some love on this week of love. So, Manchester City, yet another decisive victory rolling on. Keep that party going. Talk to me about it.
Well, I mean, this pummeling of Tottenham aside, because that's what it did feel like. Man City are doing like you're talking about consistency. They're doing fairly incredible things. My latest favourite stat, which I have looked up because originally I looked it up last week as a way to justify my FPL decisions, which we'll talk about later. But
okay.
But in the course of doing that, so I'm looking at over the last 7 game weeks, minutes per XG generated, which is my new favourite thing.
Ooh, I like that one. Talk to me. What do you got?
So Manchester City are generating an expected goal every 43 minutes. That's over the last 7 game weeks. The nearest to them, after them, is West Ham with 54 minutes per XG. But Man City have scored 5 more goals than that. So the finishing of, let's face it, Gundogan has been...
Like Lionel Gundogan?
Yeah. Has been something else. So they're performing above their XG, but they're still top of the table for generating, 2 XG per game easy. But the flip side of it is the minutes per XG conceded. And this...
Oh, wait. Let me take a guess because this is fun. And then Chuck can guess and we'll see who's closer. 1 XGA conceded every 115 minutes, I'm going to say.
No, I was going to go 250, 260. I'd say it's about, probably in that time, their XG conceded has been about 2.5. So I'm going to say I'm going to go 3 games, 270 minutes.
Well, as ridiculous as a guess as that sounds, you're not far off. It's 230 minutes.
Holy shit.
So they are only conceding a goal, as Chuck says, between 2 and 3 games. The closest behind them in the last 7 game weeks after that is Chelsea. They concede an XG every 140 minutes. There's nearly 100 minutes difference.
What's up, Chelsea? That's not bad. Shout out Chelsea. I feel good about that.
I'll give you that. The Chelsea are up there. But that's such a gap. That is unbelievable.
That's fucking insane.
That's huge. And like you mentioned, the overperforming their XG for the last 5 or whatever it was games you had there. For the season, they're still underperforming. So they're like 2.5 goals below. So it's just
for the season, are they really? My God.
Yeah. And they are 2.5 goals below for XG, and they are 0.24 points underperforming for expected points as well.
I mean, this was last year. Last year, they shattered the records for expected points, expected goal difference per 90. They had like 100 actual fucking XG in a season. Not 100 goals, 100 XG and the goals too. And like, fucking absurd. And then, it's ridiculous. I mean, what? They're up to 98% now to win the Prem. This is now the time of year where we can start bringing in the 538 numbers because we are well past, and they are 98% to win the Prem.
I thought they'd be 6 points clear by the end of this month, and they've absolutely smashed that.
Yeah, they're coming up to, 7 points at the minute with a game in hand.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
and they'll play that game in hand this week, so we'll finally won't have to keep caveating that. Much to my chagrin, because I love a good caveat, but...
Yeah, that's also why I went minutes per XG, but I think even if you were to take that away, they'd still be top, probably.
Ian, that works out to less than 13 goals a season.
That's ridiculous.
In the entire season, that's 12 and a bit goals at that defensive, like those underlying numbers.
That was the Chelsea record, wasn't it?
That is the Chelsea record. I think 14 is the Chelsea record. Yeah, the Mourinho year. Is it 14?
It's something like that. We don't need to look it up. Numbers, innit?
Oh, I just want to know so I can brag correctly. 15. Oh, 15.
15. Ridiculous shit. Peter Cech, fraud. Can we talk about Davinson Sanchez just getting the light switched off by Gundogan for the third goal?
Put him on his ass.
Bless him.
Yeah.
Fuck, he just went powered. Like, you could tell what he was doing. He's like, right, I can't reach forward with my hands, so I'm just going to throw my head forward.
Trying to get his head in the way.
It just looked like someone just switched him off.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Just went down with his arms by his side and just pushes his head towards the ball. Go on, son.
Fucking
Good
hell.
effort.
11 goals in 12 games from Gundogan. Like,
He's the anti-Jesus. Wait, I shouldn't say it that way.
No.
He's not the anti...
The
the
Antichrist.
He's the anti-Gabriel Jesus.
Damien Gundogan.
Yeah.
So if you don't own him in FPL, Jeff, maybe just buy him. Like, good players, good affordable players that keep done scoring goals.
Oh, yeah, by the way, quick fuck you to you two, by the way. Again, by the way, gotta say it twice because I'm so, heated. I said last week that the PQI was saying clearly the best move would be to move Foden to Gundogan, and you guys were like, that's a sideways move if I've ever heard one.
Hang on.
Boy, was it not a sideways move, huh?
No, but there was no salt with that. It was just that's a sideways move.
It's not. It's an upward move.
Well, okay, yeah. You know what I mean? You call any move like that, same position, same team, same price bracket, you call it a sideways move.
Yeah, it's a sideways move.
Saying no.
Because you can't judge it after the fact. You can't be Captain fucking Hindsight with it.
No, I judged it before the fact. That's the point. I literally said that before the fact.
Before the fact, it was a sideways move. After the fact, it would have been an upwards move.
Gotcha.
Directions.
Okay. Well, let's move sideways then to the next match. And Mr. Simpson,
Vectors.
please cue the jingle here.
Oh, they're better than they ought to be.
Watford.
Of the week.
That's right. We didn't really have a true Burnleying this week, so we're doing a Watford of the week, sort of mixing it up a bit. Brighton 0, Aston Villa 0. Brighton 2.3 to Villa's 0.2. So, oh boy, poor Brighton.
This should make me happy, but it really doesn't.
Okay.
Because Palace play Brighton next week, and if they're generating 2.3 against Villa and holding Villa to 0.14, I don't like it, mummy.
Yeah.
They'll go above us in the league again for the first time in 40-something years. Oh,
yeah,
God.
that's not many goods. And Villa, meanwhile, are down to 8th.
Yeah, what's going on with Villa?
Yeah, they've stopped scoring goals is the very basic thing of it. I think they've only scored something like 8 in the last 9 or something like that. So, yeah, they need to get their shooting boots back on, to be honest. Grealish to Watkins seems like the only move they've got. In the last few games anyway. Before then, they were doing okay. But Villa seem to be taking their foot off the gas a little bit, which is a shame because I quite like Dean Smith and I quite like Villa as a team. So I'd like to see them get... I mean, they're still above Tottenham. Yeah.
But by the underlying numbers, Ian, I just clicked back to January 1st on the understat while you were saying, because I was curious to see. And they were, all season long, they've been about even with Liverpool and Chelsea for the little sort of second tier below City, but above everybody else. Since January 1st, they are 9th on expected goals, which is a huge drop, obviously, from 2nd/3rd. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th, 10th, 11th on expected points. And on expected goals allowed, second worst. 19th on expected goals allowed since January.
But they just got players back, because they just got Barkley back. They got El Ghazi back, and he came straight in and was scoring. So I don't know if they're out again.
There's your problem right there. They got Ross Barkley back. Say no more. That makes a lot of sense.
No, but Barkley was good for them. You said at the time, it's a good move. Mm-hmm. It's a smart move for him. You need the play in time, etc., etc. Looking at this since January 1st, though, and seeing Liverpool in 17th, that's funny.
not many good for them either.
No many good. And Southampton, 20th.
But Barkley and Grealish in this game were absolutely anonymous, and if you manage to nullify those two, then it's job done, really.
Yeah, this annoys me looking at this as well, because it says Palace have scored more goals than Villa since then. Oh, no, read the wrong column. No, one less. Never mind.
I was going to say.
Cancel.
I know Villa have been bad, but come on.
Yeah, I mean, you have to score goals to score more goals than somebody. So I was immediately, that can't be right.
What am goals? Same number of points as Tottenham, Burnley, And Villa Palace since New Year.
Not bad. It's not that bad, man. You should see plenty to be happy about. Roy in. That's what I'm hearing. Roy in. So let's go back to Palace for a second. Would you take Lampard at Palace? I'm just curious.
I will leave this fucking chat. I will leave this chat, but not stop the recording, and then I'll just keep talking at various bits and think. Would I take Lampard at Palace?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Was that the question?
Unrelated to any of the matches we're talking about right now, but it came to my head. So would you take Lampard at Palace?
Yeah.
All right.
Because the reason it went wrong for Lampard was spending all the money. When he didn't have the money to spend and just had players and had youth and those kind of things, he was good.
I do think that he would do really well at a mid-table club for a few years, and then he can try to go back to a bigger club.
He needs to. I don't think going to the Championship. I don't know. But
I mean, he already did 2 seasons at Derby, and it went well enough that he just I don't think it was ridiculous to give him a Prem job.
He kept him the same, but who knows what? I don't know enough about all the different factors. To be able to.
He did a fair job at Derby. Yeah.
Yeah, he took over at 6th, and they got to 6th.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Jose.
Yes.
Get Jose in.
Oh, Jose at Palace.
All right.
Oh, you would fucking love Jose Mourinho. I've said this before, but he would be your favorite manager in the world.
I just know it would collapse so
Instantly.
fucking hard. It would just he would clear everyone out, and it would just be such a fucking implosion. Like, we'd have to sell the rest of the ground to Sainsbury's. There'd just be like a bakery at the corner flag or something.
All right, well, let's call it there on that very excellent joke. And we will take a quick break, and we'll see you guys after the jump.
Hey fellas, we are in the thick of winter and a storms are brewing. It looks like 1 to 3 inches are in the forecast when you trim that hibernation bush that's taking place in your pants. Luckily, our partners at Manscaped specialise in products to make sure you're walking around town with beautiful snowballs. Manscaped is here to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience, offering precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. You've got to protect your family jewels, guys.
You got to protect your family jewels, and you know it. If it rhymes, it has to be true.
It's always true.
It's always true. Yeah, I'm all about that. I mean, I know I go on about it, but you know, especially after shaving, the crop preserver, the anti-chafing ball deodorant is incredible. Like, makes your balls smell nice and makes it feel like your testes are walking in a winter wonderland.
Well, don't sleep on the crop reviver too, Chuck. I mean, that crop preserver is really nice, but the crop reviver's got the aloe, it's got the witch hazel extract. It's gonna make your balls look up at you and say thanks. Boy, is that refreshing down there.
A little spray of that is definitely what you need if you've been out on a winter walk. But let's talk about the performance package, because that comes with everything that you need. You've got the Lawnmower 3.0, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer that you were talking about last week, Oscar, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag, all in that performance package. You got the Weed Whacker, Oscar, out off your own bat, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was so excited by everything else that we got. I loved it so much that I was like, ooh, all right, you know what? It's not just my balls that need some love. My nose hair is getting a bit longer as I age. I got more white hairs in there. They're bristly. They're itchy. I feel like I'm always sneezing all the time, but not anymore, boys. Ooh, I can breathe that beautiful winter air. Fresh as a daisy.
And Chuck, did you know, Chuck, that 79% of partners polled admitted that long nose hair is a major turn-off?
And it seems that 21% are lying. Let's be honest.
Lying. So don't get cold feet this winter. 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code MOP20 at checkout. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com with the code MOP20. Thanks Manscaped for making our winter wieners look so good.
All right, welcome back to the Miles Offside podcast. We are now talking about the fixtures from Sunday, February 14, the day of love. Gentlemen, Valentine's Day might have a corporate origin, but I do think it's really nice to have a day to celebrate love. And so I'll say it again. I love the two of you, and I also love West Bromwich Albion 1, Manchester United 1, West Brom 0.9 on XG to Man United's 0.4. So Man United lucky to get a 1-1 draw with West Brom here.
Oh, God, I didn't realise that was the...
Less than half of West Brom's XG. Less than half of West Brom's XG. West Brom.
And what did the goal take, Oscar? It took a single moment of brilliance, didn't it?
It sure did.
It's important to Chuck. It's important to Chuck that it's always a single moment of brilliance.
I mean, that's all they have, Ian. Like, they have no other way to do things than just moments of brilliance. Like, maybe if they had a better coach with better tactics, I don't know.
There's a lot of coaches coming available at the moment as well, isn't there?
Lampard in. No, oh God,
Lampard in.
Ugh, that wasn't even funny to joke about. I apologize.
Rafa Benitez.
Wow.
Lucien Favre. You know, these are all options. I'm that's as much as I know for continental football. Tell you what I do like to see, though. West Brom obviously getting the draw. 5 yellow cards. Good lads. Getting fucking stuck in Big Sam way.
That's it.
They don't like it up them.
That's how you show you want it.
Yeah, this is when Big Sam starts his 5-game winning streak.
Yeah, Big Sam not getting fired anymore, huh?
I don't think he'd get fired. I just think he'd quit before he got relegated.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a few weeks to go until that. It's still not looking good for West Brom. I mean, they're still only on 13 points. And all of the teams around them have a game in hand. Burnley has a game in hand, Newcastle has a game in hand, Fulham and Sheffield. You know, Sheffield United, I should say. Dave, I love you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Wow.
Happy Valentine's Day. That's your present.
That's your gift.
Yeah, what's the... Because you said the 538 percentages before, because it was a few weeks ago that Sheffield United jumped above West Brom, even when West Brom had a 7-point cushion for percentage to stay up. So what are the percentages at the bottom of the table?
So right now, it is extremely, as you might imagine, heavily favored for the bottom three. Fulham are third most likely, 57% to get relegated. Sheffield United, 92% to get relegated. And West Brom are in last with a whopping 98% to get relegated. West Brom are as likely to get relegated as Manchester City are to win the title at this point.
Wow.
Yeah. Something I forgot to mention last week, I think it was when West Brom were playing Tottenham, was that Big Sam, who I think he gets a bad rap generally because
Definitely.
you know, everyone talks about him being a long ball merchant, bad style of football and all that. But you know, he's a pretty forward when it comes to football. Anyway, he's a pretty forward thinking manager. I know it's a long time since he revolutionised Bolton with sports science and stuff, but he's not an unintelligent bloke. But some of what he was saying after that game was like, oh well, we wanted to play a 4-3-3 because we hadn't tried it yet, and Pereira doesn't fit into that. And you're like, you're bottom of the league and you're doing a formation just to try it that doesn't include your best player.
To be fair, nothing they tried in the past has really worked.
But
so
that's crazy. That's to just let's just do
Tottenham,
it. And
you're never really looking to win that game though. So like,
you reckon that's well, maybe then.
Yeah, sorry, Ian. I got to go with Chuck on this one. I think that's totally fine. And normally, you know, I like to side with you and I don't like to side with Chuck, but that is a match to try something out. Like, why not?
what you said about Allardyce is true. Like, he gets a lot of disrespect because of obviously the whole, pints of wine and what is it? Someone said once, looks like he'd eat a Rustlers through the packet. But like, you listen to his, he when he gets called out in interviews and stuff like that, he had it at Palace. He would like literally off the top of his head just reeled off all these stats and information that if you heard like a Pep or a Tuchel or whatever saying, you'd be like, oh, this is incredible, like this genius continental mind. And like, he's got that, but it's just also the flip side is that 4 days a week he'll just like piss off to Dubai. So maybe that's what it is as well. But
maybe he's partying with Neymar's sister, I don't know.
Maybe he's Neymar's new daddy. Who knows? But yeah, it's hard to argue with 98%, really.
Yeah, I mean, they are like, we joke about Sheffield. We did joke about Sheffield. It's getting closer finally. I look forward to when West Brom are actually the bottom of the league, because they are definitely actually just the worst team in the league. So be nice when the table starts to converge on some sort of truth someday. Maybe. But speaking of truth, let's move on to Leeds having a terrible defense. Arsenal 4, Leeds 2, Arsenal 2.5 to Leeds 0.8. Gentlemen, an Aubameyang hat-trick. Is he back?
Lesser spotted.
Well, he's definitely lesser spotted. He's had a few games off, hasn't he? He's had a personal situation that has meant he's not played for a while, and every other team is playing a ridiculous amount of games. So I think it makes sense that a bit of rest, and he's come back firing.
First hat trick.
He looks sharp.
First hat trick for Arsenal.
Ever?
Is it?
Wow, and he waited to be past his prime to do it. That's an interesting one. Normally people try to do that when they're still good.
Yeah, it's just, this is the Leeds, innit? The live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yeah, it was a case of what we've said a million times, that, Bielsa's a genius, but he's incredibly stubborn when it comes to his system. And it was clear that it wasn't working, and there was no thought to changing it. I mean, he had to shuffle some players around anyway in the back line, but there was no thought to changing the system at all. Having said that, I thought Arsenal were lucky to get their penalty, and I thought Bamford was unlucky to not get his penalty, and that could have obviously levelled things up a little bit score-wise if those two things had happened. But they did look scared of Saka running at them constantly. He looks like the sort of player that Arsenal haven't had for a while and will inevitably get shipped to somewhere else very soon. You'll probably see him at Chelsea soon to fill out your midfield. You're lacking, aren't you?
Yeah, we could do with some depth. I'd take him. He's good. He is. You're right. He's the type of Arsenal player that I actually would take at Chelsea. Usually it's the other direction. Like we're sending our retired Brazilians to them.
Once they're done, yeah,
exactly.
And bless them, they're doing the Lord's work.
I will never have anything but love for David Luiz and Willian. They're, drop off a cliff in performance notwithstanding. But Leeds dropped to the bottom half of the table. Speaking of dropping off a cliff, Leeds, the mighty Leeds, the team that was going to, push for the title race out of nowhere in their first season up, is in 11th now. They did fall behind Arsenal on that, and they're only, 3 points ahead of Palace.
Yeah, brilliant. 8 years in the Premier League, and we're almost Leeds. Great. What's that meant to do for me, Oscar?
I don't know.
What's your fucking angle?
I'm trying to make you happy about literally anything about Palace that I can try to cheer you up a little bit.
That's not going to make you happy.
No, I don't think there's anything about Palace that can make me happy now. Zaha's fit again. That'd be nice.
Still ahead of Brighton.
Yeah, we play them next week. This weekend.
You might win.
It won't. They'll play 17 central defenders, and Lewis Dunk will score an own goal, but 3 goals at the right end, and I'll just want that earth to swallow me up because Andy bloody Penpraise will keep sending me messages. But yeah, I don't know what you want from me. Well, let's just move on. I don't want to talk about Palace. Fuck's sake. We're playing Brighton. We're going to lose. This is it.
All right, well, unless you guys want to talk about Wolves or Fulham, I think I'm done with the fixtures here. Are you going to force me to talk about Wolves, Southampton, Everton, or Fulham at this point?
No, Fulham getting a win.
Come on, Fulham. Yeah, exactly.
All right, okay, fine. We have a Patreon who's a Fulham fan as well.
The fear of gold. Fulham got some points for once. Yeah. An actual win.
3 of them. Everton 0, Fulham 2, Everton 0.3 to Fulham's 2.6.
2.6.
They underperformed to a 2-0 victory over Everton.
Yeah, Josh Maja came from Sunderland. Roy Hodgson claimed he'd never heard of him when we were going to sign him. Great.
I think he's Bordeaux now, isn't he? He's on loan from Bordeaux. He was...
Yeah? Why would I bother to look up that to be correct? I'm just annoyed that Ademola Lookman didn't get a look in. But... This is good. This is what Fulham need. And their next 3 fixtures are delicious. Although I did see Mitro got the Rona.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily a bad thing for the team, I mean. Not for him. Terrible for him.
If he hasn't been in the team for a while, then it is good for the team.
Yeah.
Dropping him was probably the best decision to save the season. But next 3 games, Burnley, Sheffield United and Palace. Obviously, the Burnley one is in this game week, isn't it? I'm so confused where we are in time. We're recording on Monday. But then they've got Liverpool and City, which is no many good back-to-back, but whatever. League is leagues. And then they've got Leeds, Villa, Wolves, Arsenal. So
yeah, performance like this against Everton will give them a lot of confidence into those games as well.
Especially when their odds go a coin toss at the minute. It's nigh on 50%. And if Newcastle, I just said about Fulham's next 3 fixtures, Newcastle have got Chelsea, Man United and Wolves.
Oof.
Yeah, Fulham could. They were getting a lot of joy down the left side. Fulham could definitely string something together in the next few games, and you never know.
What about the Everton side of this? Is this just down to DCL being out? James was playing, Gylfi was playing, Dino was playing, Richarlison was playing. There was good players here. It mostly just looks like DCL's missing. So
they just didn't look at the races at all. They looked surprised by Fulham, to be honest. I don't think they expected to be pressed to the ball a lot, and they genuinely looked and experienced players looked pretty surprised and were getting turned inside out quite a lot. So I think for Fulham, it was mostly a tempo thing. Fulham just seemed willing to go at them.
Well, that's the thing as well, and we're getting to that time of year now that we're into 14 or so fixtures left for teams. Is that these teams that are lower down, they just have to fucking go for it now and try something. And if you've got a team if you're playing against a team like Everton, who, but for this, I've just kept up, like Oscar was saying, sorting from January 1st fixtures to now, Everton are 15th in that time.
Right.
With 8 points from 7 games, and Fulham have got 7 points from 8 games in that time. So,
right, so they just fancied it, yeah.
Yeah, right about the same. And so if you're looking at those kind of things, that's the games that you want to get stuff from, and they've got to kind of go at it. And because we said for a while that Everton weren't necessarily generating XG, obviously Calvert-Lewin being out didn't help. But yeah, if that's the only part that's missing, it's a bit of a worry. But then we said before, like, about their depth, and they, every club's had injuries, so we can't go on about that.
Come on, Fulham.
All right, well, unless you guys want to talk about the Chelsea lineup that just got posted about 5 minutes ago while we are recording, I think that's it for the fixture, so it's ready to talk about FPL time.
Well, I might want to talk about it because I've still got Rudiger and Alonso, so if we are going to talk about...
okay, well, Rudiger starts and Alonso. Here's the lineup.
I don't need the whole fucking thing. You said Rudiger and Alonso started.
You wanted this,
I'm out.
and you'll like this.
These people have watched the game. They've seen the game's happened to them. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so that is an absolute bonus for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm on 56 points at the minute. Notice there, I've taken a 4-point hit. I've already taken the points out for you guys, so you don't have to do maths.
Good.
That's how you fucking do it, FPL Twitter. I'm on 56 points. Fernandes captain, so that was all right. I don't think realistically in my mind I was going to put it on Gundogan, but, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Yeah, Pope, got him in. Cancelo, he's done good.
Yeah.
That's about it, really. Just riding on the coattails of Gundogan and Fernandes at the minute.
Yeah, a lot of people are, but it was a funny old decision, the captaincy, because I don't think putting it on a single game week was daft. I mean, it was almost guaranteed points because they were playing West Brom, and he was, Bruno was bound to get something. I went Pope in the end because, as I said, I was.
Yeah, you did, didn't you, you little sausage?
I did. I'm not sure I've ever captained a goalkeeper before, but I thought that the Burnley game against Crystal Palace was about the surest thing of a clean sheet I could possibly bet on.
I can't really argue with that assessment.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
before, during, or after the fact.
Yeah, I wasn't even remotely worried about it. Like, I was so sure that there'd be a clean sheet.
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah,
and Pope always gets bonus points when he gets clean sheets as well.
I don't understand. That's the bit I don't understand is how he got more than 6 points. The fact that he did make 3 saves and then got a bonus point against fucking Palace. That's ridiculous. I would have thought he'd be more likely to get an assist.
Like Edison.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah,
no,
we
need
didn't
to mention
talk about
that. Edison walked up for the penalty. Oh, well, you think he did, but also then on Match of the Day they said, oh, no, he was just saying which way the keeper's going to go. Then he walks back and he looks like a sad little, oh, God, like, I don't know, someone who's just lost his puppy.
He might get the next one. Rodri's penalty wasn't good.
Yeah, because Pep said in the post-match, he's like, it was not a good penalty.
No.
Like, it went in and I laughed, but that was not a good penalty and we need to fix this. We need one person who can just every time.
Man City are getting those numbers without a good penalty taker. I mean, fucking hell.
Yeah, seriously.
The season of the penalties, unbelievable.
Look, Chelsea brought in a corner kick coach. Maybe they need to bring in like a penalties coach. Just you know what? Frank Lampard, amazing penalty record. He could be Pep's penalty assistant. Boom, job done.
The thing that worries me now, captaining Pope, is that they face Fulham, and as we just said, they look fairly at it. So
yeah, but you can't.
No, I'm still happy with it. Obviously,
you should be.
Yeah, I should have captained Gundogan. That's fair enough. Although he might be out of the next game.
Little bruised testicle.
Yeah.
He needs that crop reviver.
But I'm relatively happy with the Pope captain. It got the points floor that I think it was always going to get. So I'm quite.
Yeah, you get a return and a bonus point and something else. Like that's good. I'm just annoyed at the minute because I'm like having 2 good goalkeepers. Just Emi Martinez is just sat there with 12 points.
This is why you never spend money on a second goalkeeper. 3.5 if you can find it.
You never can find a 3.5. I know. But also this season, I think it's been fair enough having 2 playing goalkeepers. You've only,
COVID.
Yeah, just for the COVID factor, which is Simon Cowell's new show. But I think next week I'm going to put my balls out the bath and put it on the podcast. I think next week I'm going to do Robertson out, and I've still got Che Adams, and he seems to have lost his place. So that's fucking useless for the upcoming doubles. So I think I'm going to go Robbo out to Dallas and then Adams up to Ings. So that's sideways. But
Yeah, it could be worth. Yeah, because Ings done goals. Ings can only get better.
Did well in the FA Cup as well. Yeah.
Leeds and Southampton got a double game week, so
Yeah. I think it might be worth the -4, that one. I think you probably need the Leeds triple up. And, Adams is doing nothing, so might as well put him up to Ings. So I think that's what I'm going to do. You said we don't usually do future advice, but there you go.
Well, no, because and then I did it, and then I said Rudiger and Wilson. So
yeah, okay, yeah. Own goal, injured. Yeah, okay.
Well, Ian, would you like me to check on the PQI for you and see what is going to be considered a sideways move, and then in hindsight only a good move?
Yeah, go on. What's the best fixture?
Oh, fixture? You want to? Okay, I can pull up the fixture rater instead. Well, the best fixture on the list is Manchester City Arsenal.
Gundogan again.
Yeah, exactly. But as far as defenders go, you might want to consider Stones and Cancelo. Oh, here's a cheeky pick. Dallas from Leeds is the third highest rated defender.
There you go. Robertson to Dallas, Adams to Ings. I'm even supported by the PQI.
Perfect.
Numbers, stats, facts. So yeah,
Captain Bamford.
So it's still all to play for because there's still 4 fixtures left. But Ian will probably beat me again, and that's just it. I'm close to retiring for the season, guys. There you go, conceding the league. We're gonna do the music.
Bluffer time, it's Bluffer time. I got lists, and you will guess. It's got time for Bluffer guess. Guess, Bluffers, Bluffer guess. This is Bluffer time. Bluffer guess, and Bluffer time. This is a game called Bluffer. Okay. Alright, guys, if you've been listening, you know what this is. If you are here for the first time and you made it to here, congratulations. This is everyone's favorite part of the podcast. It is called the Bluffer. I will give out a category with a certain number of entries in that category. These boys will guess how many they can name from that category. Whoever, and then, we give out points based on how many they name. Basically how that works.
Do you want to say category again? Or?
Yeah, Bluffer, points, guesses, category.
Category,
there it is. Yeah. Okay, so we're all at square at 5s, right?
We are, yeah, 5-5-5.
All right, well, Chuck, I'm trying everything I can to cheer you up about Palace, so I'll let you pick first. Would you like category 1, category 2, or category 3? I'll even use numbers in order this time.
I'll take C, please.
Oh, you son of a bitch. All right, well, you'll love this one. It's the fun one for this week, as opposed to the other 2, which are difficult.
Oh, so the other 2 are going to be shit. Brilliant. Wait.
Well, don't say that, because they were submitted by our lovely Patreons, and I appreciate their work.
You said this is the fun one. The others are dull.
Well, this is the most fun one. Whatever. You know what? There's 18 people in the Marvel Cinematic Universe who have officially, according to Marvel Cinematic Universe Wiki, are considered members of the Avengers at any point in time in the MCU. Official members of the Avengers in the Marvel Cinematic Universe up to and including any releases to Monday, February 15, 2021.
18, you said?
18.
Okay, well, 9.
All right, we got 9 Avengers. I will say, admittedly, some of these I would have guessed are on there and then aren't considered officially, and some of them are weird and are there, so just be careful with that. But Ian, can you match 9, or can you go higher than 9 out of 18?
I haven't got there yet. I will go 10.
11.
12.
14.
14 out of 18. Mr. Simpson, do you want to go higher than 14 out of 18?
No, there's no way I'm going to 15. No way.
All right, Chuck. 14 out of 18 people who are officially, according to the Marvel Cinematic Universe Wiki, considered members of the Avengers in the movies. Take it away.
Okie dokie. Captain America.
1.
Thor.
2.
He was Thor for hours. Iron Man.
3.
Black Widow.
4.
Hawkeye.
5.
Hulk.
6. That's the original crew.
There's the original 6. So now we start adding in, like you said, and we'll see what happens. Scarlet Witch or Wanda Maximoff.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
God, that show is so good.
Vision.
Yep. Great show. So good.
So good. So
Great
good.
show. Spider-Man.
Yep. You're at 10.
Falcon.
You were at 9. Sorry, I counted wrong. Hold on.
Yeah,
1,
I was going to
2,
say.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. Falcon, yes, you are now at 10. I was wrong before.
Thanks.
Yep.
War Machine.
Yes, you are now at 11. 3 more.
Okay. And now I haven't written any more down. See, now it's all just feels like that mixed area for me, where, like you said, it could go either way. The Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier.
Sorry, bud. Never officially considered a member of the Avengers. I believe he was hanging out in Wakanda with Black Panther, and that's like a separate little mini team. So, sorry.
Oh, fair enough.
That sucks.
Oh, so like all the others, there would have been like Doctor Strange and.
Not in there either.
Oh no. Okay.
Ian, do you want to give me any guesses before I run out the list?
Well, the only other one I've got written down is Ant-Man, but I don't think that's...
Ant-Man, is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on there.
Oh,
He's
really?
the last member.
Oh, okay. But that was the only one I had that Chuck didn't say.
So thinking about it now, would Rocket and Okoye be there?
That is correct. Rocket and Okoye are there. Sorry
And
to tell
Captain
you.
Marvel.
And Captain Marvel. Yeah, all the ones that were like the space team
Yeah.
in Endgame.
Is there another one I missed?
There are 3 more that you guys have not said. One of them was an Avenger back in the day, but only for about a half an hour in the movie Ultron.
Oh, what? Quicksilver.
Quicksilver, he died, but he was an Avenger before he died, technically.
Huh.
Oh, yeah.
In Sokovia. Also, Nick Fury. That one seems a stretch to me, but he is considered one, apparently. And then the last one was Nebula. Nebula, I guess, gets considered an Avenger for hanging out with Tony Stark in that spaceship.
And the time heist, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, the time heist.
Oh, that's annoying, but fair enough.
Yeah.
I can't be too mad about that one.
Tough one.
Point to Ian. Ian, would you rather the category with 21 or the category with 22?
21.
One's from Jeff and one is from Andy. How about that? Would you rather Jeff's category or Andy's category?
No, I'll stick to 21. It seems nicely random to pick. I don't want to choose between... You can't make me choose between Jeff and Andy.
Oh, it's like Sophie's Choice.
Please go ahead and forward all complaints on this category to Jeff. You have gone with the Jeff category.
Okay.
He put this together himself, so he is the source. And I am going ahead and believing him on this one.
Right.
Okay.
And this is teams in the top 4 divisions of the English pyramid with suffixes. So I'll give you one, for example. It's the one we talk about every week. This one's for all the Uniteds.
Oh, okay. So like
There's Manchester, Leeds, West Ham, and Newcastle are all United.
Yeah.
There are 20 more besides United that are considered official suffixes of teams. So I need the suffix.
Okay, I will bid 5.
5 that are, according to Jeff, considered official suffixes of teams.
9.
Ooh, right up to
Wow.
9.
Okay.
Ian, do you want to take us to the halfway mark?
Yes, I will then. So 10.
12.
Oh, fucking hell, you're going quicker than I can write.
Well, that's the strategy against you, is to bid fast.
That is true, actually, yeah. I'll go 13.
You got lucky number 13.
14.
Oh, Chuck took 14. I was hoping someone would leave it at 13. I just like that number. It's a good number. It's nice and round. Literally round, like the number 3 is round. But also, I don't know.
No, I'm out again.
All right, Chuck, I'm going to need 13.
Oh, this is so annoying because I've looked at these kind of things for quizzes in the past and now just I'm going so blank. But I'm hoping as I work through.
Yeah.
Albion.
Correct. Those are... Do you want to guess the teams, or do you want me to just tell you the teams?
West Brom, Brighton.
Those are the 2 that he told me. Yes.
Yeah. Athletic.
Correct.
Charlton.
And Wigan.
Wigan. Wanderers.
That's down here,
Wycombe
yes.
and Bolton.
Oh, and Bolton. Also Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
Wolverhampton.
So 3.
City.
Yep, City. There's quite a few of those. Manchester, Swansea, Stoke, among others.
Hotspur.
Very good. One and only one Hotspur.
Just the one.
Singular.
County.
Very good. Yes. What are the county teams?
Derby.
And?
Knots.
Very good. Knots. Yeah.
Thanks for that. That's just given me another one as well. Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yes. Sheffield.
Well done. Alexandra.
Yes. Very good.
Argyle.
Argyle, that's a good one. Oh, well done.
Very
I
nice.
did not have that
yes. Do you want to give the place as well?
one.
Plymouth.
Very good.
Or
Yes.
Plymouth.
Plymouth.
Plymouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
4 more.
Town.
Yeah.
Yes, the laziest of them all. place, town, city.
Hill, thing.
Town, that's Luton and Huddersfield.
Are those the only two?
That's the only two he told me. Take it up with Jeff.
Forest.
Yes, one Forest team.
Rovers.
Nottingham Forest, for those who are just for posterity. Rovers, yes, there's two Rovers. Do you want to tell them to me?
Blackburn and Doncaster.
Very good. Shout out JD. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
One more.
12. One more, Chuck. Just one more.
I don't have another one written down.
I mean, admittedly, and again, take it up with Jeff, some of these are... I don't see how that's a suffix. It just seems like part of the team's name, but I don't know.
Oh, fucking hell. Orient.
Yeah,
Well
Leighton
done.
Orient. Very good. Leighton Orient, 13. Ian, do you want to throw any out there?
Well, it's just based on what you said made me think of two other possibles. So, is it including Palace?
Yes, Crystal Palace. That's right.
No, you can't count that.
Take it up with Jeff. Take it up with Jeff. I
There were
told
only
you.
20.
I told
It's
you.
the place is called Crystal Palace.
I know. I thought it was
So it's
weird.
not the
Take
place
it up
isn't
with
called
Jeff.
Crystal, and we're not the palaces.
Sorry, you're the winner,
Delete
Chuck,
that.
don't worry.
No, edit it back.
already
There were
won.
20 available. I'm not fucking having this, Jeff. You need to have a fucking word of yourself. You come in here and you try and contribute, and you think, "Oh, this is what we're gonna do," and then you come in with this fucking bollocks.
Oh, he's not going to like
Palace.
this either then, because I assume that Villa is also one, if that's the rule.
Yes, it is. Aston
Oh,
Villa.
Villa, no, but
Yep.
Villa is. The place is called Aston.
Right, okay.
Okay,
That's
there you
fine.
go.
Okay.
I mean, town seems pretty fucking lazy to me. If town is there, I guess. All right, there's some more. Do you guys want to try to guess any more, or should I just rattle them off?
I feel like there's more in the Premier League that I'm forgetting.
I haven't got any more written down. I can't get any more.
No current Premier League teams that you've missed.
Okay.
Some recent ones, though.
Oh,
I know.
Dons.
Yes, MK Dons.
Ugh.
Red. I'm trying to think because wait. You said top 4 tiers, so down to League 2.
Down to League 2, that's what he told me. Again, I did not check any of this information.
Yeah. We've got you.
No, go on, go through them because I wouldn't know like how
Okay.
far down to go.
Preston North End. North End being the suffix there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rangers, Queen's Park Rangers.
Ah.
Stanley, Accrington Stanley.
Accrington, yeah.
Accrington
And
Stanley.
Vale.
Taking the piss
Port
out of that
Vale.
before.
Yeah.
Port Vale. Yeah.
Port Vale. That is the last one. So we go to the tiebreaker category.
Come on, Andy. If you just come on,
Oh,
Andy.
this one's like really nice. I really, really, really like this category. It's not brutal. It's tricky, but it's like really nice. So Ian, there are
No, it's
22
me to bid. Me to bid.
teams that were in the inaugural Prem season.
I was gonna look at this as well.
How many of the 22 inaugural Prem seasons can you name? And again, I didn't verify this list. I'm taking Andy's word that he put these together correctly in the DM that he sent me on Slack. So.
There's a lot of weird ones in there.
Yeah, there are going to be, aren't there?
So I'm first bid, so I'm just gonna go 9. I think I've bid 9 first each time, so...
There you go. That's Chuck's blind bid is 9, mine is 7. Chuck's a braver blind bidder than me, or more foolish, one of the two.
10.
11.
Half the inaugural Prem season. Do you want to go above half, Ian? You're the only one who was like old enough to remember this.
Yeah, thanks. I was 8, so it was the first season I was into football, really.
Chuck was
so...
like, what, 0? Chuck, were you alive this year?
Yeah, it was my first year of living.
There you go. So you don't remember it.
Okay, 12.
13.
Lucky number 13. Ian, do you want to take us above 13?
14.
15.
16.
16. We're approaching relegation territory.
So many punty McPunt faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, admittedly, if I was doing this, I wouldn't have gone higher than 10.
I don't think Ian... No. I don't think Ian will go to 18 if I go 17. And I don't think I can do 17. I've got 10 written down.
Okay, the bid is currently 16, so 10 does not help you.
No, go on. I'll let Ian win his point. If he's going to win it, he's going to win it. So go for it, Ian.
In
Name
your
16.
hands, Mr. Stimson.
Oh, my
16 teams.
Right, that's what's... I've got exactly 16 written down. Man United.
Very good. Manchester United, 1.
Leeds.
Leeds United. This one's for all the Uniteds, 2.
Arsenal.
Arsenal, 3.
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Spurs.
It's only 1. Tottenham Hotspur. Singular, thank you.
Sorry.
5. You're at 5.
Chelsea.
Hey.
Everton.
Everton. Yes, very good.
Southampton.
Yes, Southampton. Correct.
Okay. Crystal Palace.
Correct.
Very good. Crystal Palace.
Aston Villa.
Correct.
Aston Villa, 10. You are at that 10 mark.
6 more.
Okay.
I'm annoyed at myself for not going 17 now.
Middlesbrough.
Very good. Yes. 5 more.
Right, which of these should I go with? Sheffield Wednesday.
Very good. 4 more. Sheffield Wednesday. The only Sheffield as far as I'm concerned.
Norwich.
Norwich City. Correct.
Right, Ipswich.
Ipswich Town. Very good. 2 more, Ian. 2 more.
QPR.
Yes, Queen's Park Raisins. Very good.
And I've left this one till last because I am not sure. Coventry.
Correct. 16. Very good, Mr. Stimson. And the win and taking the lead in the Bluffer at a score of 6 to 5 and 5.
So annoyed at myself for not taking that. Blackburn, Newcastle.
Blackburn are there, yes. Newcastle are not.
Blackburn. I miss Blackburn.
Blackburn are there. Would you like me to rattle off the rest, or do you guys have any more guesses here?
Oldham.
No,
Oldham
really?
Yes, Oldham Athletic. Very good.
Oh, I'd have never got Oldham.
Yeah, Oldham's the weird one.
Yeah, that is weird. I'd never got that.
Current best team in the world, Manchester City, was there as well.
They were. See, that was... Yeah, I would have left them out. I wouldn't have gone for Man City.
And then the other Sheffield United, were also there. Both Sheffields in the inaugural season.
All right. Blimey.
Yep. You also missed Nottingham Forest and Wimbledon.
Wimbledon. Blimey, yeah.
Yeah, all the classic. I was trying to think because there's a picture. There's a picture of all the players sat there, like one player, the captains from each team.
Right.
And now think about it, I'm sure Vinnie Jones is sat there. Well then, something's going wrong in the world and Ian's ahead in the Bluffer, but he presents
This
next
is
week,
amazing.
so there you go.
Oh, yeah.
He is the
I
reigning
suppose.
champion as well, so...
Oh shit, yeah, of course he is.
Controversially.
No, not controversially. He was-
under
no.
contested circumstances.
No, you made the circumstances that made him the winner, and then you contested yourself. You're out.
Within the same episode, yes. We decided 2 different...
It
Anyway.
is what it is. So as we record, West Ham are beating Sheffield United 2-0. Chelsea are about to play, and obviously on Wednesday we've got Burnley, Fulham, and Everton, Man City. Oh, Everton, Man City's on Amazon Prime. Interesting. And then next weekend, starting on Friday game week. What's that then? 6:30 deadline for your FPL teams.
Game week 6:30. Jeez, what a long season. I mean, I know COVID's been like crazy, but game week 630, that's a lot. Gosh.
We start with Wolves, Leeds. Then on the Saturday, Southampton, Chelsea, Burnley, West Brom, Liverpool, Everton, the friendly derby. Fulham, Sheffield United, anything but friendly in that one. West Ham, Spurs, Aston Villa, Leicester, Arsenal, Man City, Man United, Newcastle make up Sunday. Then on Monday, the 22nd of February, Brighton Palace, and then Tuesday, 23rd of February, Leeds play Southampton. So a double game week again for Southampton and Leeds. That fixture's finally been put in. Yeah.
Triple up on Leeds.
Triple up on Leeds. Live, laugh, love. I don't know, I guess. Maybe. Enjoy
And
Leeds not scoring any goals.
While we've been recording, we've got a new Patreon.
Hey!
My alarm went off. It was all happening here. New Patreon alert. Alex Sampson comes in.
Thank you, Alex. We love you. Happy Valentine's Day, Alex. Take care of your balls. Hope you got some love.
Big love. Shave your nads. Get some love. That's how it works. Manscaped.com. If you do want to support us, patreon.com/Mars Offside Pod. Please like, rate, review wherever you are. We want to reach out as many people, beautiful people in the world. Say goodbye, Oscar.
Goodbye, Oscar.
Say goodbye, Ian.
Goodbye.
And big love to Nate Whittam, producer, girlfriend haver, defender of the realm, haver of lovely hair. Probably no hair down there because he's gone to manscaped.com, code MOB20.